So Milee, it's just over a year now since you started working with the Diocese of Norwich as the mediation team leader, and you've been giving us, well, just over a day a week, I think, working on mediation. What's been happening over that past year?
Well, I think the most significant change since we last had a conversation like this is that we've recruited a team of 7 volunteer mediators from across the diocese, and they bring a range of professional experience with them. Now that group with me, we've been through a couple of formal training sessions, and now as cases come in, so our volunteers are developing their practical mediation skills.
Lovely. So what sort of cases have you been seeing?
Well, a surprising variety, but I think I can give you 3 sort of general types. First of all, where people have very different communication styles, and that's led them into interpersonal conflict. A number of cases where parochial church councils are dealing with quite challenging issues, and that in turn has generated friction. And also a number of cases where, if we could say, there are mismatched expectations, so people have very different ideas about the way things should be or the way things that were going to go, and that's led to difficulties.
So is it always about 2 individuals who are in conflict, or are there situations that have gone wider than that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of our cases are about the relationship between 2 people. But we've also worked with small groups of 4 or 5 people who are dealing with issues, and also with much bigger groups with whole PCCs who are dealing with challenging situations, and we've helped them unpick their way through that.
Right, okay. So are you always able to help? Can every conflict be resolved?
Wouldn't that be a wonderful
world?
It would. Yeah. No, we're working with human beings, so there will always be some situations where a nice, peaceful resolution isn't possible. But what I would say is that even in those situations, having a conversation with a disinterested third party about what's going on for you can be really helpful. And also it's possible sometimes to find a way of minimising the impact of a conflict so that it doesn't continue to cause damage.
Okay, so I'm sure you don't want calls from everybody about everything that might possibly have gone wrong for them, but what is the optimum time for someone to give you a call? How bad does it have to have become before people get in touch with you?
I would say ring as early as possible.
Right.
However, a good rule of thumb is, I would say, if you feel your blood pressure rising at the thought of dealing with an issue, or if you feel a sense of dread about having that conversation with that individual or raising that issue at that meeting, that's probably a good time to give us a ring.
That kind of heart sync test then,
yeah.
When you think of a situation, that's a...
Heart sync sums it up.
Give Milee a ring kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what's the one thing you'd like to say to people about working with conflict?
I'd like to say 2 things.
Oh, all right.
The first thing is, if you find yourself in what feels like an intractable conflict situation, that is not a sign that you've failed. That's a sign that you're working with human beings, and it will happen to all of us. That's the first thing, not a sign of failure. Second thing is, you don't have to tough it out alone. We're here.
That's really important. So it's not a sign of failure, and you're not alone. Those are really important messages, aren't they? And that's such a help, because sometimes it can be tough. I know when I was in parish ministry, that was a message I'd have loved to have heard, and have had someone like you I could get in touch with. So thank you so much to you and to your team, Milee. That's very much appreciated.
Thanks, it's our pleasure.
Thank you.